It's the most wonderful time of the year, and no, I'm not talking about Christmas, although this is Christmas for Jordan fans, because it's time for the brand new Air Jordan. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown on these potential bad boys right here. This is the Air Jordan 39, the 39th installment of the flagship Air Jordan line.
Whoa, this is amazing!
Now, before we get started, we do have a quick word from today's sponsor, and that's the good folks over at Outsole. They provide premium or luxury style bags, but the catch is that they are all catering towards sneaker lovers. They have a wide variety of different options and different materials and different colors. So as an example, this guy right here is just their daily commuter bag. This is essentially just a regular backpack, but the difference is that they can hold 2 pairs of shoes in there up to size 15.
Excellent.
I personally love these bags because when I go on short trips, I'm able to wear one pair and then stick a secondary pair inside of the shoe storage. And then instead of opting to throw in a third pair of sneakers, that's where I actually put my clothes. And then when I'm going on longer trips, this bag right here is what I typically like to use. It holds up to 5 pairs of shoes. On top of all of that, these bags are TSA approved. They can fit underneath the seats or in your overhead compartment. This particular one is made out of polyester instead of a more premium leather, so there's different options and varieties depending on what you want. Last but not least, this is my favorite bag and the one that I use all the time, mostly because, well, we're gym rats here, and I also test shoes for a living, and this bag right here lets me do all of that stuff all at once. This is a brand new version of their gym bag, where this one is decked out in premium goodness, and I'm not gonna bring this one with me because I don't wanna ruin it and get it all wet and sweaty. So instead I bring this one, but the good news is that they both fit 4 pairs of sneakers, which is amazing. If you have your testing shoe, then your backup shoe, and then maybe there's a backup for the backup, and by chance, maybe a backup for that, I don't know. What I like to do is fill it up with 3 pairs, and then my leftover compartment has my change of clothes, deodorant, my water bottles, a basketball pump, and then for my AirPods and whatever else I might be bringing, there's a ton of storage options for that too. So for whatever your needs are, Outsole has probably got you covered. So if you're interested, make sure that you click the link down below in our description box. It'll send you over to Outsole website, ousolepremise.com, where you can check out all the variety of different options, all the different colors, what's on sale, all that kind of good stuff. And with that being said, this is the box. I will say this is a much better box despite it being very plain, at least upon first glance, compared to last year's box, the Air Jordan 38, which came in that whole like recycled, like the Move to Zero box. Wasn't a fan of that. So this time around we have a specialized box specifically for the shoe. It's hard to see some of the stuff on here, but it is textured. It says Jordan with the logo, much like the old school Air Jordan 9 boxes way back in the day. And then Air Jordan Type 39. Nike branding is on the box as well. Inside the box is pretty cool. You do have a 39 and a 23 number. That's going to be a through line around the shoe.
Is that what the 29 is on the back of the shoe?
Yeah, it doesn't look like a 3. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, like it's weird.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out when I was inspecting the shoe, and I was like, I don't get it.
It's not the best thing that they've done, but they tried. That will be repeated on the paper. And then probably the coolest thing is underneath all of that stuff, there's this really dope graphic of Michael, and that's also on the shoe as well.
Ooh.
Now the retail price for these guys is a whopping $200. Unless you were like me and grabbed your pair over at Dick's Sporting Goods, then it was $214.
What?
And I suppose real quick, we're gonna just go through some of the little tiny Easter eggs throughout the shoe, and then we'll break down the performance. On the right shoe, at the medial toe, MJ's signature is there. On the rear, it says Air Jordan, and then it has that same exact number logo, the 23/39. You'll see that at the base of the lace as well. And supposedly that is the Air Jordan 9ism, or at least one of them. It's supposed to mimic that 23 branding that was on the heel of the original Air Jordan 9 back in '94. In case you're wondering what the 2 little arrows are, that's supposed to represent MJ's game. He could play both sides. The tongue also represents the Air Jordan 9, most notably the little icon that's on the back pull tab. And I really love the way that it feels, I will say that. Like it's this really cool, soft, rubbery thing. If we were like a fidgeter, that's awesome. A weird thing though is the logos. Why are they facing like that? That's weird. They normally face the same way. Now, in terms of performance, the outsole feels amazing. This, along with the cushion, feels like they're going to be the standout features or the highlight features of the shoe. I know that the outsole is translucent, but lately, and by lately I mean at least the past like 2 to 3 years, translucent rubber has been really good as far as performance goes, especially indoors. So I have high hopes for this. It's a modified herringbone pattern. There's actually herringbone and then herringbone underneath the herringbone. I have seen it before. I just don't remember what shoe it's on. I've reviewed too many. But either way, I personally wouldn't take these outdoors, or at least I would test them outdoors, but I wouldn't buy them specifically for outdoor use, mostly because of that price tag. 200 bucks is a lot. But as far as the performance goes, they feel really good over on the hardwood floor that we have, so I'm really excited to play with these on court. Now, moving on up, the cushion is, again, the thing that really attracted me to the shoe. The entire like presentation that they did with all of the different blogs and news outlets and things like that, where they were talking about painting a pair of Air Jordan 29 uppers and then having the wear testers test that shoe to see the crack patterns, which is what all of the weird design is. What that has to do with this specific shoe, I have no idea. You'd think that they would have painted one of these, had them wear test that, and then see what the wear pattern on this specific model is. But I guess that just makes too much sense. But once they unveiled the Zoom X and Zoom Air combo, you had me. Now, does it feel amazing? Yes, it does. If anything, it might feel a little too amazing. I know that we've used Zoom X before, most notably in the GT Cut 3s, and in that shoe, believe it or not, the Zoom X feels more subdued than what we actually feel in this guy. I'm pretty sure it's because of the way that it's implemented. That has an EVA carrier wrapped around the Zoom X, kind of like insides or core. Whereas this guy right here, all of that stuff is housed within this rubber cup sole. That's also something that I think is interesting about like the entire traction setup, is that this entire rubber piece here, it's all one thing. It's a literal cup sole. And we haven't had a true cup sole like this in a very long time. The first one that comes to mind, obviously, the Air Jordan 1. The Air Jordan 15, maybe a partial cup sole, at least in the heel and the forefoot, not a true cup sole like this. The 23, I would consider a cup sole, even though it's technically not. That's more of a chassis, but that felt clunky as a motherfucker. So cup sole it is. And I believe that's it. So yeah, however, will it perform? Not sure. I will say again, the Zoom X in this cup sole right here, you can literally see it like move, especially once you apply some pressure and some force. So it just feels more bouncy, I guess. I mean, that's the simplest way I could put it. Now, a lot of people, when the cushioning and the shoe and stuff was unveiled, thought that it was going to be a drop-in like this, where this is from the LeBron 11, where it's got bottom-loaded full-length Zoom Air and then a Lunarlon drop-in midsole. This is not a drop-in setup. I thought it was going to be a drop-in setup too. I believe they were just showcasing the pieces or the components of the shoes as separate entities. That way you can just see simply like what the shoes are made out of. But if you wanted a visual, pretend that the orange stuff is Zoom X and then that's Zoom Air. That's essentially what's in that capsule. However, these guys, unlike the LeBron 11, are missing something, and that would be a shank plate. That's the part about this whole shoe that I find a little bit sketchy. Like when I hold them, when I feel everything, there's no stuffing in here or anything like that. The shoe itself is a little flimsy, which is a little weird because the 38s was very sturdy despite the materials being damn near see-through on the side panels and things like that. The X-frame setup was extremely supportive. I loved it. The 38 lows especially, like that was a great shoe. This one though, I'm wondering like, where's the rest of the stuff? Did you spend so much money on the Zoom X and painting an Air Jordan 29 upper that you forgot about some of the more important features like, I don't know, torsion support? So yeah, you can twist this shoe, and I don't know how that's going to play out long term, especially once you start heating the shoe up, or even if you're a bigger athlete, like bigger than myself. I'm curious. But either way, the shoe itself feels super comfortable. So again, the traction, the cushion, both things I'm very excited to try, but will they be the only two things that the shoe has going for it? I'm not sure. The insole is this piece of shit. I can't take it out all the way because it already started to start shredding and adhering itself to the inside of the shoe. So if you wanted to remove that insole, you could just use a hairdryer to heat up the glue. Use it on your lowest setting, that way you don't burn anything, and then pull it out. And then you could put in an insole with some torsion support, like a move insole or something like that, whatever else that you use. And then I think that would enhance what already is there, or what should already be there, for $200 to $250. And yeah, then you can modify it. Shouldn't have to, but you're going to. Now, the two areas that I believe they put on the shoe for torsion support is this little black bar right there. There's one on each side, but it legit does nothing. Like, I don't know. Now the upper is very interesting because you have two different types of materials on here, both of which I absolutely love. The base layer, or the main layer, is kind of like the Air Jordan 11. It feels like a Cordura or a really tight knitted mesh. They do have some areas that are covered with TPU. So like right down here, this bottom area, that's covered in like a heat melt material. That way it can bond to the cupsole really well instead of trying to glue that to the textile. But the rest of the textile seems pretty free. So again, I like how it feels. feels. I will say again, it's a little flimsy, so it's a little bit interesting. I think that they could have maybe or possibly even should have like beefed that up just a little bit. But again, we'll see once everything's like in motion. I'll test them on court, see how they feel, and then we'll give a performance review. This is just first impressions, how they feel, how they fit, what they're made out of. This is, believe it or not, what a lot of people watch is this video. And then less people watch the performance review. So more people are just kind of interested in what the shoe is rather than how it plays. Now, my favorite thing is that they brought back leather again, and it's super nice too. Like this stuff, like it just feels, it looks, it's amazing. I love it. I will say the toe down view, while gorgeous, it reminds me of these bad boys right here. This is a team shoe. These are awesome. Check out the video if you don't know what they are. It's a classic, not the video, the shoe. So I don't know if they pulled from their heritage on purpose or it was just a happy accident, but either way, when I saw these, I immediately thought of those. One weird move though is that leather definitely goes up the tongue. So ventilation, a little bit lacking. That's something where more modern approaches or techniques could have been and maybe should have been applied. A Nike torch system would have been awesome. Now, as far as fit is concerned, I would go true to size. One thing that is something to note, it feels like there's a little bit of volume around the foot. Again, I'm hoping that all of that stuff breaks in and goes away over time. But as of now, I would go true to size. And if possible, which is gonna be almost impossible, try to find them in store if you can so that you could try them on and make sure that you get the best fit for you. For an example, we live in the Sacramento area and I had to go all the way to Roseville just to get one. So it might not be the easiest thing for most. I don't know what their deal is. I don't know why the brand new flagship shoe is so elusive, but it is. So yeah, the shoe itself, it feels like it could be a potential bad boy. It also feels like it could be a potential disaster. I'm really hoping that it is not a disaster because I really do like the way that everything feels. I just hope that everything plays really well. Now, with all that being said, do we happen to have a question of the day? Please make it good. Make it on topic.
Oh, it's not on topic. Today's question is a personal question.
God damn it.
Consider it market research.
For whom?
For me. I am struggling with introducing our son to different styled movies. He's not as open as our daughter was.
Oh, so this is not a question for me?
No, it's for everybody. I'm polling the audience.
Okay.
I'd like them to go back to age 10, 11, and let me know what their favorite movie was. He's much more...
So you're polling for options?
Yes, because he's very much, like, you have to talk him, like, convince him to sit down and watch anything that's not anime or superhero related. And I know there's a lot out there, but he's seen most of it. I did have him for a while where I'd be like, oh, we're gonna watch Mighty Ducks. We're gonna watch, what was that dog movie?
Turner and Hooch.
Oh, Turner and Hooch, there we go.
I would personally like to go over Ace Ventura. I'm just worried that he's not old enough yet. I really want to watch Three Ninjas with him. Rookie of the Year, that's a good one. Sandlot, classic. Surf Ninjas, yeah. Addams Family Values. I don't think we've watched any Addams Family.
I've watched Addams Family with him.
You
Because
have?
I do the Halloween and the Christmas movies with them.
Okay. Beethoven the Second. He might like the Beethoven movies. He likes animals. One of my favorites on the list though, and we just watched this with him, is The Three Musketeers.
Oh yeah.
The one with Chris O'Donnell as my ever-loving favorite. We haven't like taken away from him. He's had a good
I know.
movie.
I'm just like in a little...
I think there were so many movies.
Yes.
That, you know, it's hard to pick them. But if you can help us out, sound off below, let us know what movie do you think a 10-year-old would like. And with that being said, let me know what you think about the Air Jordan 39 and be honest too. Do you think that this looks cool? That's the one thing. I do think they look cool. I think they look good casually. Will that translate to performance though? I'm not sure. Because at the end of the day, it needs to be a basketball shoe first. But everything sounds good. I just hope that they're not as flimsy as they feel in hand. You know what I mean? I hope that they really like suck onto my foot and just become one with it. Which sounds weird to say out loud. But sound off below, let us know. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for the performance review, and we will catch you guys on the next one. So until then, y'all have a good one.